I'm a strong believer in God qualifying the called.
Yeah.
Once you walk in obedience, God equips you with whatever it is. Like sometimes I do videos and after a shoot day, I'm like, babe, how was that video? Like, that was nice. And then like when we air it and I'm watching it back, I'm like, I said all those things. Where did they come from? So it's just a thing of walking in obedience, especially if you are doing it not for the views, not for the subscribers, not for the followers, but for something bigger than you, and that is God. If you're doing it for the followers and subscribers, what happens when you reach 1 million subscribers? And then being authentic is the most natural thing because it is who you are. When you're trying to be someone else, you're doing a lot more work. Because now you're like, I'm a millionaire to people on Instagram, so I have to, even when you have pennies in your pocket. So it's much easier for you to be authentic. It's easier for you to maintain that because I will show up on my phone and post. Then you meet me on Kampala Road and I'm a different thing.
When you talk about marriage, the first thing that comes to a woman's mind, I'm talking on behalf of women, is submission, right? We fear submission.
So submission is, recently I had a fellowship and someone was talking about submission and subservience. So you being submissive and you being subservient. So when you are subservient, it's like when someone wants you to be subservient, whatever they say goes.
Their way.
Their way goes. But submission is done in love. It's done in an environment of love. But also, I know that people have said this kind of narrative of it's easier to submit to someone who loves you. True. But the Bible doesn't say submit only when you are loved. The Bible says submit, whether you are loved or not. Always weigh it against the word of God. What does God's word say? Because you want me to submit to you, but you want us to go and murder. Submit to someone who submits to God. Because now you're there, you're dating this guy, you don't know what altar he submits to. Let us go to the shrine and dance.
Because you're a wife, you have to submit.
So if God is not telling us to submit, then whatever you are submitting to, weigh it against his word. Don't take marriage lightly. It's not just another thing to check off your list. Marriage is a covenant. It's the only covenant that we make between two people and God. Singleness is a gift. Marriage is a gift. How are you handling the gift of singleness? How will you handle the gift of marriage when it comes? So even when you're choosing your partner, because many people make mistakes during the dating, you ignore all the reddest red flags. You ignore them and think marriage is going to fix it. It will not. You're dating, you're having sex while you are dating, you have blurred the lines, your eyes are blinded to the red flags, then you get married and you think somehow marriage is going to fix all the issues. It will not. If you decide to marry a project husband, that you're seeing the flags, but he needs like some panel beating to shape him, then you've just married a prayer request. Carry your prayer request and pray. Because it's only God that can change that man, unless he wants and he's seeking for help. You'll become that wife that the Bible talks about. The nagging wife is like a leaking roof. Every day you're talking about coming home late, but you are seeing it when you are dating and you married it. We take for granted that you're now getting married, but do you know how someone wears the heart of divorce? Everywhere you go, every other relationship you're going to get into after your marriage has failed, you're going to say, hi, I'm Daisy and I'm divorced. Like that is going to be something that you introduce yourself with. So do not take lightly the journey to marriage. There are so many people who grow up seeing bad marriages and they've created this narrative that marriage doesn't work. But we need to be able to show them that marriage actually works.
It works.
Marriage, God's way, works, and for them to start to heal those traumas and those wounds and really seek God on what marriage is and how to do marriage, because we cannot just sit down and say marriages don't work and then you're just there having children. So what do you think those children are going to grow up thinking? You're just creating another generation of trauma and hurt. And we need to change that. So whatever you can do within your capacity to change that, I feel like you should get up and do it.
Hi friends, and welcome back to another interesting video. It's a pleasure to have you back here. If it is your first time, you are welcome. And today I have a special guest. This guest of mine, I've been eyeing her for almost like 3 years. I can say 3 years, yeah. I've followed her journey since she started, and I would like her to share with us her story. I know some of you know her because she is a content creator here on YouTube and Instagram. Yes, join me and let's welcome Daisy Sunshine on this platform. Woo, drum rolls.
Thanks for having me, Josephine.
Thank you.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting to come.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this has been a dream, guys, and finally it's coming true. I have to express my happiness because, you know, guys. Yeah, so today, Daisy Sunshine is going to be sharing with us her journey of content creation and marriage. If you follow her, if you're one of the people that follow her, she's so passionate about marriage, intentional marriage and godly marriage. So she's going to be sharing with us about those two things mainly because they're the reasons I actually followed her. Yes, and she is a mom. She does mom content as well. So yeah, it's quite a pleasure. Kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Daisy Sunshine on social media, every social media platform.
Yeah.
I am a mom. I am a wife to one handsome man.
Yeah.
We have 3 children. I create content on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok and Facebook. On marriage, on family, intentional parenting, natural hair. Yeah.
And you do have nice hair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, if you see her in person, guys, her hair is really, really, giving.
Thank you.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for the work you're doing online.
Thank you.
You have changed, like, you know, before we didn't know the power of social media. We didn't know what it can do, like how much it can impact someone. But after being on social media for a while, I've seen so many people doing different things. But there are some people that really stand out, that you feel they are impacting your life, and you are one of them.
Thank you.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
So I'd like you to take us from the start. Where did this start from? Like, I know you didn't wake up and become a content creator and do what you're doing. Where did it start from?
Thank you for those compliments. They're always very humbling. Every time I hear some things, I'm just like, oh my God, is that me?
Yeah.
So when I started out on Instagram, I had a personal page. And I'm quite protective of my personal space, especially since becoming a mom. So I just opened up this new page because I wanted to encourage people and spread sunshine. So I even wondered what name should I use, and I came up with Daisy Sunshine. Before I had wanted, because I registered the name with
UNBS.
URSB. With URSB, so we reserved the name. I wanted Prim Sunshine because I didn't want, Prim is my middle name. I didn't want people to know that it was me. But they couldn't give it to me and they gave me Daisy Sunshine. And I was so mad. But
really?
Yeah, I was so mad about it. I was like, that's not what I wanted because I wanted to be incognito. So if you scroll down to the bottom of my page on Instagram, you'll find that I used to share quotes. And I never showed my face for the whole first year. So I opened that page in August 2019. I had no intentions of showing my face. I just wanted to spread encouragement and sunshine. And yeah, then 1 year in, there was a strong prompting on my heart and some people in my ears telling me, Daisy, you're not going to have the impact that you want to have if you don't show your face. When you show your face, you're more relatable. People can actually see who this is and believe what you're telling them. So I was so nervous about showing my face, but I did on the day that page made 1 year.
What prompted you to do that?
The people in my ear and also just God pushing me. Like, if you really want to do this, you're going to have to be all in. Because I was 50% in. So I believe that is when my content creation journey started. So that was about 2021. Yeah, so I would show my face intermittently. And then before my husband and I got married, we got married in 2016. We knew that we were called to serve in marriage. and in relationships.
Yeah.
But at the time, we were facilitating a program called Ndoa. It's a premarital and marriage counseling program.
Okay.
So we're counseling those who are preparing to get married. And we thought that is the space where we're going to be able to serve in that calling, and that would be it. Okay. And God said, come on, Daisy, now there's Instagram.
There is more.
This is where people are. Yeah, so if you want to serve people in marriage, this is where you're going to do it. So I started sharing on marriage, slowly. And I think in September of 2021 or 2022, there was a deep prompting to join YouTube. Okay. I said, no, you're joking. I'm not going to do YouTube.
Wait, before we go to YouTube, let's start with the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
You know, it is so, especially these days, it is so hard to just put yourself out there. There is so much judgment, especially on the internet. Like, so many questions that people will ask you, like, who asked you even? Because I've seen people share things, even if it is false, as long as it is content creation, for them, they'll just put it out there. So, should I say it was, first of all, your passion?
My passion wasn't to be on social media.
No, I mean the content creation.
Content creation wasn't even my passion. My passion was to help people realize that they can have happy, godly marriages. Wow. But where are these people? They're on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, social media is just a vehicle to a destination. Even now, like I don't see myself being on social media maybe 20 years from now. I'll see where God will lead me, but I feel like it's a means to an end.
Yeah.
Yes. So of course, when I started out, I was not that confident to show my face on social media. And at that time, I was struggling with my skin. I didn't know what to do. So if you look at, I've saved some highlights. Back, I would use filters. Yeah. I couldn't show up without a filter. Then when they disorganized our internet during elections, and you have to use a VPN now to use filters, I was like, now what am I going to do? Or when you're leaving the house and you have no access to Wi-Fi and you need a VPN, like, how am I going to show up online? But I feel like this journey also on social media has allowed me to heal that, because that insecurity came from so many comments. You know, when you're struggling with acne, everywhere you go, someone is like, Josephine, what's wrong with your skin? I have this soap. So I didn't want to hear.
People always ask those things.
Yeah. So it affected my confidence and how I would show up. Yeah. But being on social media has also allowed me to heal that, to just be confident and show up as I am. Right now, you will not find me with a
regardless
filter.
of the judgment.
Yeah, you'll never find me with a filter on social media. And I pray that showing up also teaches another woman to show up as you are healing in whatever you're going through. Yeah. So I feel like my journey is 360 for the woman, but also for marriage, for parenting.
Yeah. Did you believe that anyone would actually take what you're saying, especially about marriage?
So it's just a thing of walking in obedience, especially if you are doing it not for the views, not for the subscribers, not for the followers, but for something bigger than you, and that is God. If you're doing it for the followers and subscribers, what happens when you reach 1 million subscribers? And then
you stop.
What happens when your page is hacked and you're starting from scratch? And then, so it has to be for something bigger than you.
Yeah. That is really good. So if you're out there and you're starting, those are actually good questions to ask yourself. Have a bigger reason than just making money, because people have heard there is money in content creation, and most of us actually rush to do the content because of money. But there is more to that, and especially the impact.
Yeah, and you'll also burn out.
Yeah, definitely.
At some point, the money will, like, okay, now you're a millionaire.
Yeah,
now the money no longer means so much to you. That means you might not even value the clients who come to you. The small-time clients that you used to beg, looking for when you were growing, now you don't value them well. Is that loving people? Is that, so you have to really be grounded in your principles and what it is you are looking for. Otherwise, if it's just the money, you will easily be corrupted.
Definitely. Okay, so are there some people that you used to look up to, like?
Yeah,
I would like
social media. One of the ladies I look up to is called Mpumi Ledwaba. She's South African. Okay. I just like how she has grown and remained authentic. There's some things that I don't agree with what she says, but she has remained authentic. they also shoot from home. The way, like, I feel like I can relate so much to her journey and how she has grown slowly and authentically, and yeah, God has lifted her. That's one of the people that I really look up to.
Yeah, talk about authenticity, because so much lies on the internet. How have you managed to keep it real? Because I really feel like Daisy is what she says, you guys.
Before I post anything, I always ask myself, is it entertaining? Is it educating? Is it inspiring?
Yeah.
If it's not any of those, and you're just showing up maybe to show off or to abuse someone, it doesn't show up. So everything has to be for the glory of
God.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. I love that. Also, I have seen you sharing about God so boldly, without fearing of whether it will divide your audience. You know, when it comes to social media, like, there's so many people believing in different things.
Yeah.
Yes. Why are you doing this?
I feel like, you know when you have a father and a mother, you have their DNA.
Yeah.
You cannot, like, if this is your father's nose,
you have
it
to.
is your father's nose.
Definitely.
Like, so God is in my DNA. He's the one who called me to this. He's the one who made me.
Yeah.
And I cannot be anything other than that. And that's part of being authentic.
Yeah.
So I believe in God. I am a firm believer in what He says.
Yes.
And I cannot come and tell you about marriage, about parenting, and not mention the author of all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So let's also talk about, I've seen when it comes to social media, there are some things that you will say, you know what, this one I'll share, this one I'll not share. Of course, we don't know everything. Like, social media can really tell lies. It makes you think you know people so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like you to help someone out there who is trying to start this content creation journey, but they're like, should I really share this? Like, how do you pick out some things that you want to share, and those ones that you feel like, no, you know what, this one I shouldn't share about it, even though, how do you create that kind of image that you want people to see you in, but still being authentic?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the questions I asked, I told you earlier, always ask yourself if it's entertaining, if it's going to impact, if it's going to educate, or if it's going to inspire.
Yes.
And if it's not any of those, then I would say keep away from it, because now you're just doing it for the clout. Yeah, there are people who will even put like thumbnails. When you watch the actual video, it is not that. People stop to watch
it's
your
here
video.
on
They
YouTube,
stop watching,
guys.
Yeah, so
you see something totally different.
Yeah. So always ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is the posture of my heart while I'm doing this? And let that guide you.
Yeah.
But also, the things that I'm saying might sound like gibberish to someone who doesn't know God. But for me, social media is ministry. It's not just you're the popular one, you have this many. No, for me, it's ministry.
Okay. How much should someone share? Okay, even if it is like being authentic because you want to remain yourself, but I don't think it is good to share everything about yourself.
Share as much as you are comfortable. As long as you know that it's going to inspire, it's going to impact, it's going to educate, it's going to maybe entertain someone, as much as you are comfortable. Like, for me, one of the boundaries that we drew, even before we had children, before we were married, we just knew that when we had children, we're not going to post them on social media. For the love of God, I had no idea that I would be working on social media.
Wow.
And then now when this door opened, and we're like, wow, now we have, I think when it opened, by then I had 2 children, one child, and then the other was pregnant. And now God had allowed us to set that boundary even before these children were there, because it's easy for you to now want to share your children. Because I'm telling you, if I was sharing my kids, I'd probably have 1 million followers, because they're so cute. They're so cute.
Yes.
But God allowed us to draw that boundary even before the space had opened, and it has made it so easy, because every now and then I'll keep getting, how come you don't show us your children? How come you're just showing us the back of the head? It is because that's what God instructed us to do, and we shall do that to protect our children.
It's upon you to decide what to share and what not
so
to.
what you are comfortable sharing, go ahead. Like, there's some people who share their kids and then they're outside, maybe they've gone to a supermarket, and you're uncomfortable with people coming and touching your child, but you have given us free access to it. Yeah, so always ask yourself, what is the thing that I don't want? Because tomorrow someone will write about your marriage because you're sharing about marriage.
Definitely.
Maybe now you're going through a rough patch and someone gets to hear about it. If it's going to make you so uncomfortable, then maybe draw back and draw some boundaries and share about your marriage, but in a certain way, and always seek God's guidance.
Yeah. Wow. So, Banange, I'm learning. I'm learning, and it's good to hear this information from people who have actually experienced it. Yeah. So, let's talk about this whole thing of confidence on camera. Yeah. When you were starting, you said you didn't want to show your face. You didn't want people to know that it's actually Daisy. Were you confident, first of all, to talk on camera? Because some people, they really have the passion of sharing. They want to start out, but they're like, how do I even start? Like, how do I hold a camera and start talking to myself? It feels so awkward, something like that. Yeah. So how have you been able to navigate?
It was weird also for me. It was so weird. Like, I don't remember how many times I would put the phone there, record, delete, record again. Take 7. We're still recording, trying to find a perfect video. But then I found that it was just stressing me so much. It was not showing up as authentically as I wanted. And for the confidence before a camera, I just keep telling myself, the more you do something, the better you become. So the first video, you're going to be scared. The second one, maybe you'll also be scared. By the 10th, you're a little less scared and you show up more easily.
The more you do it, the more you get used.
It's like a muscle when you're working out. The first time you work out, it's hard. Second, third, by the time you're working out for the 20th time, you can pick up the biggest
Definitely. Yeah. So it is all about practice. The more you do it, you get better at it.
You not showing up is not going to make you more confident on the camera.
So if you want to start, just go ahead and start.
Yeah, start with that one video.
Yeah.
It will not be, kick out perfectionism, kick it out. Just show up, do that one video. It may not, sometimes I'll never watch my stories again. I'll just record, post, and go.
And disappear.
Yeah. I would not go back to watch my, even these days, like I see some of my friends watching their stories. I'm like, you're watching your story? I never watch. Like, because I know that my secondary trait is, temperament is melancholy. And I like perfectionism. So I will look back and then want to retake. So now I post, I'm like, God, do you leave it from me? I post, I leave.
Talk about the perfectionism. When I was starting, especially, okay, I'm a content creator, but still on a journey, guys. But when I was starting, I was like, you know what? I've seen this perfect video and it's exactly what I want, but I don't have that phone or I don't have that camera. You know, I'm sure someone is out there and you're like me, you're like, okay, I want to start creating content, but I want everything to be perfect. I want to have such and such a gadget, but you can't afford it at the moment. Yeah. So when you started, did you have the iPhone? Did you have the big cameras?
I had an iPhone 6. I think I had an iPhone 6S. It was not the best, but let me tell you, work with what you have. Just clean your camera very well, like do and clean properly. As long as what you are sharing is actually helpful, people will watch.
Definitely.
People will watch. And just make sure you're loud, because sound plays, as long as we can hear you. Unless you're doing like maybe home tours and what there, you need good equipment. But start with what you have. That is quite good. You need to gather yourself up. You will break your back. Even our first YouTube videos, I think we shot some of them with a Canon. Like that camera was for pictures, but we forced it to do video. And some of them we shot on my phone. I think at the time I had an iPhone XR. So start with what you have as you grow.
You definitely make it. So let's talk about your content sourcing. Where do you get what you talk about? Is it like, do you get everything from your head? Daisy, are you that wise?
It cannot be me. It cannot be my head. Some of them are questions that people ask me in the DM. Sometimes there are questions I see other creators answering. I'm like, let me also let me have this on my channel.
Do you
give it a spin, a daisy spin, and also maybe host someone that can share more wisdom on that topic. Some of them, God just downloads them in my head. Yeah.
Do you have sort of a content plan that this is what I'm going to be talking about this time? And does it require planning?
Yes, it definitely requires planning. Mine is not really cast in stone.
Okay.
Like you'll see through my notebook, I have like 50 topics that are just listed down. I don't know when I'm going to talk about them, but I know that there are topics I need to talk about. So whenever I see a need, I'll write it down until the time when I can post it. So like now we're going to shoot on next week, and I'll just look through the topics and I see in this time and age, what is it that people are really asking about and interested in.
Okay. Okay, so you should have, like, sit down, curate what you want to actually talk about, like not talking about random things.
Yeah, because you see, we're not creating this content for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's for the audience. What does the audience want to hear? What questions do they have? What topics are trending in the country that people are looking for answers about? Yeah. So as children of God, dominate that mountain of influence.
Definitely. And you can do it in your area of expertise or in whatever you're actually passionate about. She is passionate about marriage, and I love business, guys. I love money also. I don't know about you. I'm sure you love money too.
I love money.
Yeah. So guys, let's talk about marriage. Marriage. You said, when did you get married?
We got married 7 years ago. We're in our 8th year now.
Wow. You've done such a good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, why marriage? Of all things, like, of course, you could talk about a lot. Why marriage?
For me, I think if not marriage for me, then what? The smallest unit of a family, of a nation, is the marriage.
Yeah.
Is these two people who come together and say, okay, now let's start a family, let's have children. How that marriage works is going to be the foundation of how a godly family will come up. Yeah. And we need more godly families in our country, in our world. Yeah, we need more godly families, and that starts with the state of our marriage.
Are there people inspiring you to talk about marriage as well?
Yeah, there's some people who inspire me to talk about marriage. There are two pastors, Pastor Mildred Okonkwo and her husband.
Okay.
I watch them a lot. I watch the Perrys. They don't talk about marriage per se, but they talk about all things God. Jackie and Preston Perry. Who else do I watch a lot? Those are people who really inspire me regarding marriage. Yeah. I feel like we need to talk a lot more about marriage, because the bad marriages have gotten a lot of airplay. And we need to talk about healthy marriages. There are so many people who grow up seeing bad marriages, and they've created this narrative that marriage doesn't work. But we need to be able to show them that marriage actually works.
It works.
Marriage, God's way, works. And for them to start to heal those traumas and those wounds, and really seek God on what marriage is and how to do marriage. Because we cannot just sit down and say, marriages don't work, and then you're just there having children. So what do you think those children are going to grow up thinking?
Yeah.
You're just creating another generation of trauma and hurt.
Yeah.
And we need to change that. So whatever you can do within your capacity to change that, I feel like you should get up and do it.
Yeah.
That
is really good. So there are so many people out there who are looking out to actually, like, to get married. But they're like, you know what? All the things I've seen, all the things I've grown up seeing, like, how would you change someone's narrative of marriage? Okay, you've shared a lot on your platform, but I would like you to also share to someone who is watching right now and they are thinking of starting or entering into marriage, but they are scared. Yes.
It's okay to be scared. For me, I grew up seeing a healthy marriage. My parents are still married.
That's
and
good.
I got married at 23. But I was still a bit scared. Not scared that it would end, but scared of the responsibility that was coming with it. So get down and ask yourself why you are scared. And start from there. Because some people are scared because they have seen bad marriages. Some people are scared because of what the world has said. So get down to why you are scared.
It's bondage, you're going to do this and this.
Exactly. So even when you're choosing your partner, because many people make mistakes during the dating, you ignore all the red flags, the reddest red flags. You ignore them and think marriage is going to fix it. It will not. You're dating, you're having sex while you are dating, you have blurred the lines. Your eyes are blinded to the red flags, then you get married and you think somehow marriage is going to fix all the issues. It will not. Yeah. And I feel like it's those things that have given marriage a bad rep because we have dated wrongly.
These days people do weddings and within just a month.
Yeah. I think
it's already down.
Yeah. I think it's first of all the reasons for getting married. People get married because they're pregnant. People get married because they want to have sex. People get married because their friends are getting married. Or like everyone's getting married, I also want to, oh, this guy likes me, let me get, oh, I'm about to reach 30, let me get. Yeah. So the reasons why people are getting married is the reason why marriages are breaking a lot. But also our parents' generation, sadly, they did the keeping quiet. Like you just keep quiet. They
didn't share a lot.
So you find that many of those marriages started breaking in like 25 when the children are out of the nest. Like now I've been here for my kids, they've grown, and then they get divorced. Yeah. So always get down to why you are getting married. When you are dating, be intentional about the person that you're dating. Just because you're dating them doesn't mean you have to marry them. Better a broken engagement, even if they have proposed to you and you're now engaged but you still have question marks. Break off that engagement, answer those questions that you have, and then you can go ahead and get married. It's harder for you to break a marriage than it is for you to break an engagement. So when you're dating, be very, very intentional. Do you know how someone wears the hat of divorce? Everywhere you go, every other relationship you're going to get into after your marriage has failed, you're going to say, hi, I'm Daisy and I'm divorced. Like that is going to be something that you introduce yourself with. So do not take lightly the journey to marriage. If you are engaged, there's someone I know on Instagram, she's called Elatam, she's now married, but she broke off her previous engagement because after the engagement, it was a public engagement, and so she felt like, okay, let's say yes, let me not let him down here. But after that, she broke off that engagement because that was not going to be a marriage that she wanted. So don't be afraid to break off the engagement if it's not a marriage that you want to be in.
And don't make, I feel like you should not even make a decision because of maybe
peer
your friends.
pressure, what will people say? Let me tell you, so many people are in the grave because of what will people say.
And the bad thing about social media these days, like people are proposing on live. People are proposing without even letting your spouse know whether they are really into marriage or not. You've not had that conversation yet, and you're posing this question. So someone is going to accept to get married to you just because you're on live, just because someone is recording.
Exactly. So
there are so many mistakes that we are making these days.
Let me tell you, don't be afraid to say no. No is a complete statement. You don't have to accompany your no with a reason. Just say no.
Stand by it.
And go.
Wow. You hear it, guys. You get it. So recently, I've seen you from organizing an event for singles, Bloom. And so I had some of my friends come in and attend. So glad they got so much. And it's good to actually have such spaces for us, like to prepare us for marriage. And if you're out there, you really shouldn't walk this journey alone. Like, I feel like we do a lot of mistakes because we don't know or we have not heard. But the good thing is that now social media connects us to so many people. So it is good for you to actually source out and, filter out what will work for you and what won't.
Let me speak to the single people. If you are single, use the season of singleness to really discover who you are. It would... many people got married when they didn't know who they were, and you find that you easily get lost in the fuss of being married and all that. So use the time to repair your relationship with God. Get closer to God. Know who you are, what you like, how do you behave when you're angry, what makes you angry. You will be a better spouse when you truly know yourself, when you truly know God.
Wow. So we all understand submission in different ways because I think it is also because of the different places we are raised in.
Yeah.
Someone would say, for me to feel that my wife is being submissive is when they are kneeling down, is when they are following whatever I tell them. They have no say, like you can't.
Yeah, the world has redefined what submission is. But I can kneel down for you. But in my heart, I'm standing.
Definitely, when I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is so much pretense when it comes to that side of marriage.
Yeah.
And sometimes people actually fear to talk about it. They just like, especially about tribes. For us, this is how we treat men from our place. Oba, for us, this is what we grew up seeing. So I feel like everyone understands it differently, and there is need for you to understand your spouse.
Yeah,
and
ask your spouse.
How they understand what submission
what does respect look like for you?
Yes,
and even for the men, they are called to love their wives as Christ loved the church. We all know that Christ died for the church.
Yes.
So ask your wife, what does it look like for me to love you? Because some men will think it's buying flowers, but if my husband bought me flowers every day,
like,
I would just see that as money being wasted. Yeah, so ask your spouse, what does love look like?
And another one, if they don't buy flowers, that would be trouble.
Yeah, it's trouble. So ask her, what does love look like for you? Ask your husband, what does respect look like for you? What does it look like for you if I submit? And let him define that. But remember, always weigh it against the word of God.
The word of God. Yeah. Daisy has said she's going to create a whole video topic about that. So if you haven't subscribed to her channel, please go ahead and do so. So let's talk about when it comes to managing a home. Now you've entered this marriage thing, eh? There is so much into marriage, right?
Yep.
So much work to put in, because it's not a bed of roses. Like you've not gone there to slay throughout, right? So much work there. And when it comes to, I love talking about finances. When it comes to money, one of the things that helps a marriage to stand out is actually money. And these are the things that we fear to share, especially when it comes to marriage. And there is no way your marriage will thrive without the money bit of it. So kindly open our eyes about money. Do you, like, are you open to your spouse about money?
Yeah, very.
Do you share everything about money?
Very. Yeah, look at money as a tool. We've looked at money as something that defines us, and that's why money has become something that separates marriages. Look at money as a tool that is here to help us make our lives better. That's it. But every marriage has their dynamics of money, but the principles should be transparency and openness, accountability. So whatever money you make, you tell him, today I made 100K. He tells you, today I made 50. So that means in this home we have 150K. What needs doing?
There is this thing of her money is her money. His money is our money.
I used to believe that actually when we were engaged, before we started our ndoa.
You're like, if it is his money, we shall eat it. But if it is my money, it has to be mine.
It is mine. But like I said, always weigh these things against the word of God. When you get married, they say, and the two shall become one. All that I am, I give to you. All that I have, I share with you. Those are vows that you made to your spouse and you made to God. So now, why is money coming in between this?
The two of you.
Because now when we get divorced, you're servicing two homes, or you have to care for the children, send the children. Like money is just a tool, and when tomorrow you die, no one is going to put money in your casket and bury you with it. You've left it here. It's just a tool. It's just a tool. So always ask yourself, is this money bigger than my spouse? Does it, today I have and maybe he doesn't, and tomorrow he has and I don't, but our home, our marriage should continue to stand. Marriage, money is just a tool. So use it well.
Okay, there is also another thing that I think men should know. I don't know if you're a man watching this video, please. There are some men who don't want to be open to their wives about money. They're like, you shouldn't know about how much money I earn. And yet you want your wife to actually be open, right? So how would you expect her to be open when you are not open, right?
Now you see, those are the red flags that you ignored while you're dating. Many of these women saw those red flags while they were dating. But now you are here. So you know that your husband is stingy. What's that association? Smile. He's the chairperson.
I know.
So now, for me, what I would advise, if he can agree for you to go to couples counseling or therapy, go ahead and do it. So that, because usually it stems from a trauma that he has. Maybe someone he dated stole his money, or he saw his mother and his father. Whatever, you might find it stemming from somewhere.
But also, speaking from this point of view, there are also some women who, when you show them that you have money, they're like, we must spend it till it is finished. And when there is need of getting money, she will actually pressure you to actually bring it.
Yeah. Now you see, those are also different money personalities.
Yeah.
There's also money indiscipline. It's a whole big thing, money. But you have to get down to the root. Because how we behave and who we are usually stems down from our experiences. So you find this chick has seen her mother collaring her father, and now she's also here to
take it,
to squeeze. But like I said, the dating period is very important. You will see many of these things in your dating your dating period. Don't ignore those flags. What if you are married? If you can agree to get help, if your person can agree to get help, please go and get help and get down to where this is coming from, the issue that you're trying to fight.
Maybe they have reasons why.
That person's refusing to give you money or hiding it, it's just a symptom. Down there's a disease that needs to be
there is a reason
healed. So now if you find that in the marriage the guy he's stingy and I want to share his money, there's a friend of mine who is in such a marriage. So she said she writes a budget, like they have a budget. This is what we need to get in the home, and you're the one bringing it. So they'll sit down. He knows, okay, this month my home needs 2 million. So just have a budget, communicate it, but also pray. My biggest mantra for marriage is work on me, pray for him. So you also see, because even you're not perfect. Even you, because even her, she didn't now give her money to the home. And that is a thing that she also needs to work on. She just gives him a budget and he foots it. But even her, she has things that she needs to work on. So always ask yourself, when I stand before God, will he say, well done, good and faithful servant. You are a good wife. You are a good wife. Or will he say, why were you hiding your money from your husband? So always ask yourself that and work on me, pray for him. Pray for him while he works through that stinginess, whether he's working on it or not. But just pray that God will heal whatever it is that is making him stingy.
Yes.
And if you can find YouTube videos like this one,
so much information here. Yes, there's so much.
Record and just send him a clip as a hint.
I love what you always share about, the text prompts. We love it, ladies.
Thank you.
They always work magic for us. If you don't know about that, go follow Daisy. So there is this whole thing of I'll change him, whether he likes it or not. When you get into marriage, right? You talked about red flags, but sometimes you're like, okay, I'm seeing them, but when we get married, I will change this guy, or I'll change this lady. She will be different.
Are you God? That's my question. Are you God? Only God can change the heart of man. If you decide to marry a project husband, that you're seeing the flags, but he needs like some panel beating to shape him, then you've just married a prayer request. Carry your prayer request and pray. Definitely. Because it's only God that can change that man, unless he wants and he's seeking for help. Then you can direct him in the places of help. But you cannot force someone who doesn't want. Exactly. You can't force someone who doesn't want to change to change.
Definitely.
You'll become that wife that the Bible talks about. The nagging wife is like a leaking roof. Every day you're talking about coming home late, but you are seeing it when you are dating and you married it.
And there is this other thing that I love about you, Daisy. You work with your spouse. I don't know if people see it, but me, I see it. And I would like you to share some nuggets about working with your spouse. Because sometimes it hits up. Like, you're with your spouse, but you still want to work with him as a husband. There are businesses that have actually failed because their spouses, like they can't work together. There are certain men you'll find and they're like, you know what, me I can't work with my wife. No, me I can't work with my husband. And yet, okay, they would really make a good team, but it is because they are lacking some things, some knowledge. So how have you been able to navigate this successfully?
I just find it so hard to fathom, because this is someone that you have picked out of, there's so many men, and you say this is going to be my husband, he's my friend, he's my partner. I don't see why I would have a hard time working with him.
Lazy.
But I feel like when you genuinely love someone, like even when you find us working, you can't tell whether this is now marriage or this is now work. It is one and the same, because he's my friend. We just happen to be doing work together. He's helping me. He's actually the wind beneath my wings. Like he has supported my journey so much. So for me, I can't draw the line. I feel like you need to work on your respect, on your communication, on your love. Once those things are in the picture, the patience, because there've been times when maybe something has gone wrong and one of us was to blame, but I still approach it from a place of love, and he'll also approach it from a place of love. So always have respect, communicate, and love. That should always be there. Whether you're doing different work, whether you're doing content creation or you're doing a product-based business or service, no matter what, always speak to your partner with love. Always be open, communicate openly, and be respectful. Imagine you're shouting at your husband because of work, and we're going back to the same bed just because the labels were got wrong and you're shouting at him. No.
Let me tell you, there are some people, should I say, who do not have like the same mindset. Like your husband is business minded and you're not. But if they would really work with you, then they have got to understand that they don't get things or perceive things the way you actually do. But some people don't get it like that. They just say, you know what, I can't work with my husband or I can't work with my wife. Also, we understand things differently. Though we are married, we are two different people, right? And we do things differently. What are some of the challenges you've found working with your spouse?
So my temperament is choleric, melancholic. I am, when I want something done, I want it done there and then, not 5 minutes from now. I want it there and then. My husband is phlegmatic,
Let's think about it.
Phlegmatic is, I'll get to it. Cool, easy, laid back, like a cucumber. And sometimes I tell him something and he's just taking his time. I'm like I feel like scratching my brain. But it has taught me to be patient, to be respectful. He also has his reasons for why things are being done a certain way. There have been decisions that we had to make and he was like, no babe, wait to make that decision, let's not take that. And I'm dying. But God has also allowed those situations to show me that this guy is very intelligent. Like the things that he says, he's not just saying. And we have missed so many bullets because of his patience. And sometimes my go will land us in trouble. And for him, he's seeing it. He's like, no, don't do that. There was a time there were some people I wanted to work with, and he told me, babe, are those your friends? You don't know those people, do not. And I was like, no, babe, women empowering women. He was like, no, take your time. And indeed, a few months down the road, I think like 4 months down the road, we started to see the true colors. So the fact that this person is your head, like God has given the authority over you as your husband, you respect that. There's a certain grace that he has. There's certain things that he sees that you don't.
Definitely.
So I have learned to take a step back. I breathe. But also in the times when I feel like maybe he's moving a little slow and we need to get things done, I'll communicate that. I'll tell him, babe, like, you don't have to tell me 5 minutes every time I ask you to do something. Sometimes you can just get up and do it.
I think it is on, I think most women, we are just like that. We are struggling with that. Like, we are so quick to make decisions and we want things to be done like there and then. But it is always good to have someone who will first cool your fire, sit you down and make you think through things. That's a plus, guys. So if you're single and you're out there looking for a spouse, That should be one of your things. Yeah, so I have so many questions about marriage, but I don't think we can really exhaust everything.
We can't. Marriage is so vast.
Yes, we really can't. So what would you advise someone? Like, give us general advice as people who are married. Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, my mantra, work on me, pray for them. It's very easy for you to notice the speck in someone's eye without you noticing how you contribute the log in your own eye. So whatever issues they are in your marriage, always ask yourself, how have I contributed to this?
Yes.
Yeah. And I know it's tough, especially like say in cases of infidelity, but just always look, like, be honest with yourself and ask yourself, how have I contributed to this? Sometimes maybe you haven't, especially maybe in the cases of infidelity, maybe you haven't contributed, but just always ask, how can I posture my heart to be a good wife, even in seasons of heartbreak and pain? How can I posture myself to be a good spouse? And for me, the thing that really keeps me in line is standing before God. When the day comes and I'm standing before God and he asks me, what kind of wife were you to Mark? Yeah, that question will not be, what kind of wife were you to Mark when he was doing this, this and this? And then I can give the excuse of, I was not that submissive because the Bible tells me to submit as unto Christ, without any So for me, it is that day when I stand before God and he asks me, I'll be able to say, I was faithful, I was good, in spite of whatever.
I have one last question that I'd like to ask you, and this is about the content creation thing. How have you been able to spot out brands to work with? Let me say, if someone is there, they've been struggling to make some money or to work with brands, how have you positioned yourself to make sure that you attract the right brands, but also make some good money, right? Yes.
Positioning yourself is you are showing up authentically, you delivering excellently, even before people pay you. Like, you're doing this YouTube video today, are you doing it excellently or you're doing it haphazardly? Brands will be able to see that. They'll see the quality of this video and they're like, we want to work with Josephine. So show up excellently, do excellent work, show up authentically. Don't tell lies. People can see through your lies. And when those brands do come, like, even if the brand is paying you very little money, do, like, deliver and over deliver.
Wow.
Be excellent. Don't wait for them to ask you for a report or what. Like, just be excellent and more brands will reach out. And then for me, how I find brands, most times it's to answer a need I have, because if I have the need, I can't be the only one who has the need. I think someone else has the need. And then before I take on a brand, I always ask what their values are. I'm not
Do they align with yours?
They have to align. I'm not going to take on a brand whose values don't align with mine. Yes.
Wow, I'm learning, guys. I hope you're learning too. Yes, my dear. So it was a pleasure hosting you.
Thank you for having me. This has been a nice conversation.
It was. I don't know whether you have any last words so that we close this up.
Last words is, every day that we are given, like, treat that as if it were your last day. So I don't know what God has called you to do. Start your journey to doing it. Imagine it was your last day and this is the purpose that God has put you on this earth to do. What have you done to make sure you achieve that?
There is one last thing I remembered. You made, was it a reel that said, when you die, are you going to die empty?
Yes. Die empty.
I'm like, what?
Die empty. You know, sometimes things that hold us back are maybe I don't have the equipment, I'm not confident, I don't have a camera, I have a bad phone. Die empty.
I don't know what to share.
If you died today at midnight, are you, because many times you don't even know what to share. You're just scared, you're over questioning, you're trying to be a perfectionist. Just get it out. Get it out. Die
Be
empty.
yourself.
If you can't maybe post a video, you type a blog and I don't know, put it somewhere. Do something, but die empty.
And there are so many opportunities. The good thing that right now you can actually be a content creator without even showing your face. It's very possible.
There's so many accounts.
Yes.
Like that.
without showing your face. So if you're not okay with that, there is that option as well. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. It's time to say bye. Yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, kindly give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.